There's really two modes of workflow that I'll outline. One is just, that typical document approval type stuff you might want to do. So an example might be, I've got a purchase order that gets created by a certain individual, and because it's over a certain amount, I want that purchase order to be approved. I have a workflow module that I can actually just access from my dashboard here because I pinned it. It's important. I want to go into it. And here I can see, all of the workflows I've got configured within my environment here within Business Central. Workflows inside of Business Central can be rooted on the application itself. They also can be rooted on Power Automate. I'll start with just kind of the standard workflows available in Business Central, and then we'll talk about the Power Automate concept. Within here, I can see different workflows built out by module. So for purchase documents, I can see, a purchase order approval or an invoice approval rather for the facilities department. So I can pop into that workflow and I can see exactly what it's doing. I can not only set these up by document, I can also make these conditional based on data. So for example, if I want a purchase order approval out there and I only want that to go through approval if it's coded towards the Department of Facilities, I can make my workflows conditional based on data. I can even make them conditional based on what they're actually requesting to buy. So I have basically an unlimited number of capabilities here around how these workflows are triggered and how they're conditional there. When you use Business Central workflows, they restrict users from actually, posting and processing transactions through until that approval activity takes place. So just to kind of show you, what the outputs of that are, within Business Central on every single dashboard, you have a section here called approvals. And what approvals are showing me are, things I've sent for approval, as well as things that are waiting from me. So if I drill into one of these tiles here, it's actually showing me, what specific approval is assigned to me. I can drill into that. I can see who sent it. I can open up the record from here. I can make decisions based on that record. I can make an approval here. I can reject that specific document. I can even add comments. If somebody's, out of the office or out of town, I can manually delegate this. I can also set up the system to automatically delegate based on date thresholds and different types of things there. But this will really show me the status of that document in that approval workflow. Like I said, I can approve it. I can make those decisions directly from here. Alongside the Quest to Approve tile I just showed you, I also have the ability to, to have an email sent to the user once a document is put through and it's assigned to them. That way they see in their inbox and they can review it. And so that's Business Central document approval. When you looked at these approvals earlier, you probably thought, oh, that looks slightly technical. Setting those up might be difficult. Microsoft provides a number of different workflow templates out of the box. So if I want to create new workflows, I can open up my workflow templates and I can see those different workflows that are available within the application. Let's say I want to create a new purchase order approval workflow. It's really just the click of a button, making changes to that, enabling it, and so forth. There's a lot you can do with those around who those workflows go to, whether it's going to a department, whether it's going to a specific user, maybe it's going to my direct manager. A lot of additional configurations. We won't show you now in the interest of time, but we can certainly share at a later date. And like I said, that's workflow rooted directly inside Business Central, right? Now, the power of workflow in Business Central doesn't stop there. I have the ability to also use Power Automate from Microsoft to further enrich workflows. Workflows inside of Power Automate can actually reach outside the bounds of Business Central into something like Microsoft Teams and Outlook and other applications. So really just to kind of show you what that looks like, I have a workflow here built out within Power Automate. And you can see this general journal batch workflow. That's what I'm going to show you here. And the source of that is Power Automate. If you're unfamiliar with what Power Automate is, it's essentially a low to no code workflow engine that allows you to connect various applications together within your overall environment. So what I'm seeing here on screen is really a visual cue of a specific workflow. And this workflow is triggered when a user in my organization requests that a general journal is approved, right? And you can see here it's connected to a specific environment in a company. This workflow is going to go through and do a number of different things within Power Automate. It's going to go and retrieve information from the user from M365. It's going to then go start and wait for an approval here. When you build out these workflows, you have the ability to put links to different information in here and also use what's called dynamic content. So any of the data that's exposed within this workflow, I can use within this Power Automate flow to show that information to the user. And if I scroll down here, you can actually see that it's doing some different things based on the outcome of that workflow. If the user rejects it, if they accept it, and so forth there. The nice thing about Power Automate is that it can connect a lot of different Microsoft products together, but it also can connect other solutions together. So if I just go ahead and add a new action to my workflow here, you're seeing on the left side of the screen the different connectors that are available within Power Automate. So I can go ahead and search for something. These can be Microsoft products, they can be non-Microsoft products. So for instance, if I just go ahead and search for Salesforce or something else that's non-Microsoft, I actually have the ability to then connect those applications to my workflow and really expose that information across my organization, whether I'm using only Microsoft products or other products as well. And that's a little bit on Power Automate. And what we can do within there is workflows triggered by Business Central. We can also do additional things like connect systems together through integration. We can subscribe to different business events inside of Business Central as well. For instance, when a transaction reaches a certain status, or when something is deleted, I want to trigger off a workflow in my organization. The possibilities are really endless with this tool. What I want to point out really quick is the outcome of a workflow could be sent over to different areas. For instance, Microsoft Teams. So if you're familiar with Microsoft Teams, you're probably familiar with the concept of approvals. So I have the ability to send some of those workflows through Power Automate over to Microsoft Teams, because users are in there every day, right? They're working within Teams, and they're going to want to see notifications there without having to monitor Business Central.